Well, welcome in to be our guest. You know, we're about 2.5 weeks away from the election. It's going to be an important election. So I wanted to do something special today. I wanted to bring in a person that's a radio personality, but also he's had a lot of experience in government. My good buddy Dan Morris, WACV Talk Radio 93.1.
That's correct.
Every day, Monday through Friday, from noon to 3 o'clock, you're on the air, and you get great guests. Number one, from all around the country, but also you're savvy about what's going on as far as if they try to pull the wool over your eyes, and politics is a lot of pulling the wool over your eyes.
It is indeed.
So Dan, what I want our viewers to be able, and another thing too is you spent how many years in the Reagan White House?
8 years in the Reagan White House.
8 years totally. So, and you were very close to the president. You did a lot of things. You were an advance man for a lot of things that he did. And so you got a real good taste of it.
I really did.
You got some good credentials. Also, he's a financial advisor. If you need some help, we'll give you a little. We'll give you a little plug there too. Okay,
like that.
Which is great. So, like I said, the election's 2.5 weeks away. What should the average person do out there?
Well, first thing they need to do is vote.
Yes.
Voting is critical. Alabama will be one of the largest turnout percentage-wise states in the country, believe it or not. I've spoken to John Merrill, our Secretary of State, who does a great job, by the way, and he is expecting record turnout this time. So voting is very important. Do not get discouraged because long lines. You have the ability to do vote by mail absentee.
Right.
We do not send blanket ballots out in Alabama.
Thank God.
So you just need to have your driver's license, proof of ID, and just go and vote. Just please get out and vote.
Mm-hmm. It's very important.
Absolutely.
And I said in one of the shows, I had another person on, I talked about the fact that you have the right to vote, but you have a responsibility to vote right.
Good point.
Yeah, very important thing to do. And Dan, you and I talked a little bit beforehand. There's two parties out there, basically, a Republican Party, Democratic Party. You may not really like the candidate that much, but what you have to do is what party, and each one of them has a platform. How do we see the platform for each party? Is it easy to access on the internet?
You can go to the internet and go to the Republican National Committee, Democratic National Committee. They have their platform that's listed there. It is worth it. It's worth it to read it.
Yes.
Because you may be surprised in a good way or in a bad way about what some of the things parties are recommending and that they're behind. It's difficult to get all that out of the chatter of NBC, ABC, and CBS News.
Right.
But you can get it by reading it yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then you're going to get the best. You're going to get the best perspective of where that person's going to lead you if he gets into office.
Right.
Because that's exactly what they're trying to do is lead you. Sad because for most cases they're supposed to be representing you. You know, your representatives, your senators. We put them in there to represent my thoughts and my views. A lot of times they get off the track, don't they?
Absolutely, they do.
Yeah.
And a lot of politicians will tell you what you want to hear so they can get elected,
Yes.
and then they'll go up and they'll do something completely different.
Mm-hmm. And basically, well, like I say, when you go to those sites and you're reading it, read it with diligence. You know, take your time, read, and say, how do I really feel about this? Is this really me? Because if that person gets in, that's going to become you.
That's a great point. And the platforms normally have pieces on social programs, they have fiscal issues that are there.
Yes.
What government's response should be to things. Are you a big government person or are you a small government person? Maybe you like a big government, maybe you don't. Maybe you want a government to kind of stay out of my business type thing. You can read the two platforms and find out where they're coming from on all those issues.
Well, Dan, we've heard it said, because we're going to close out in a little bit here, that this is probably the most important election we've ever been a part of.
I absolutely agree with that.
And of course, everybody's, well, they say that every election. Well, maybe, but I'm 78 years old, okay? Civil unrest, just things that are happening that I do not believe that we're in the United States. And the only way it's going to stop is having the right people in the right positions.
Absolutely, and there is a tremendous amount of civil unrest. There's a lot of tribalism that's going on where people are in their tribe and they won't move off of issues. We always hear about coming together as a country. Spiritually, I'm a big believer.
Yes.
I'm a very faithful individual. I pray for our leaders as the Bible tells us to do. And honestly, Jack, we're not doing enough of that. We need to do a lot more.
Well, Dan, thank you for coming and being a part of the show. And it's so important to let the people know that this is going to be a very important.
It really is. And I hope everyone will get out and vote and participate in this election. It is vital.
Absolutely. And we'll be right back right after this.